Alright, there was a brand new developer interview with one of the Battlefield 6 developers via IGN. Gotta be honest, I don't really want to make this video right now. I don't really care about Battlefield 6 right now. I'm hanging on by a thread just to make it to this next update. But I do care about you guys, and I know you guys want to hear this news, so I shall make the video anyway. The IGN article will be linked in the description if you want to read along, and I will separate this video into two sections: shit that doesn't matter, and shit that does matter. So if you like that sort of style, be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and you guys know where the buttons are. I appreciate you guys hitting up all the buttons. Thank you so much for that. Okay. The developer being interviewed in this article is Ariel Giovanetti, and he is Seasonal and Competitive Creative Lead at Motive at Battlefield Studios. The whole big point of this, as you might have gathered from the thumbnail and the title, is they are trying to just tell us that they're really trying to listen to feedback, and they give us some of their plans and some thoughts in this article. First off, shit that doesn't matter. Gonna try to rifle through all this stuff. First off, IGN asked them a question talking about how Battlefield 6 Season 3 is the biggest season yet, and the developer gives an answer along the lines of, this is a very long process, and working on it takes a long time, and we have to sit down with a bunch of people. Then IGN poses this developer the question of basically players wanting to know when changes are going to come based on their feedback, and the developer answers, well, you know, we know you guys want it now, but we also know that you want it to be good when you get it. After this, IGN asks Giovanetti why they decided to add Cairo Bazaar and Galmot Railway to Battlefield 6. This is a waste of time in my opinion. What's done is done. The maps are not going to be suddenly removed. Now, with the shit that doesn't matter out of the way, we're getting into the shit that does matter. So IGN finally asks a question of some sort of substance, and they say, you also added some quality of life changes this season. I think one of the biggest is player visibility. Everyone has their own preferences, and some people I saw were a little upset that it defeats the purpose of camouflage. Are you happy with where you've landed on visibility? Is there work to go with that? Giovanetti responds, yes, there's always work, we'll continue improving on everything. For us, I know that it defeats the fantasy of camouflage. I would still argue that some camos are very effective even with the visibility changes, but this is addressing a concern that was frustrating to a large part of our audience. They would get killed without knowing what killed them, or they would get killed with the enemy in front of them without having the time to react because cognitively it was taking a little bit more time to register just because of the lighting conditions. Alright, first off, I'm not a fan of IGN asking this developer about camouflage because there's no world where Giovanetti can actually give a real answer that makes sense to this question. He's basically always going to be backed into a corner where he feels like he has to validate the opinions of people complaining about camouflage. As I've established in multiple previous videos, my opinion on camouflage in Battlefield is that it just simply doesn't fucking matter because someone can hit Q on you at any given moment and you have a giant name tag above your head. The people complaining about camouflage are LARPers. The people complaining about camouflage are the type of people that will specifically try to cheese bad visibility in order to eke out cheap kills. But unfortunately, due to this developer being backed into a corner from a PR perspective, his answer is always going to be brought up now when it comes to camouflage validation arguments. The fact of the matter is, the visibility after the Season 3 update to it is significantly improved. It was the right call. It significantly improved the gameplay as a whole, and there are more things that can be done to improve visibility, like adding a hit marker size slider in the UI section so we can finally get rid of these gigantic hit markers on our screen. Next up, IGN poses Giovanetti this question: how would you define the health of Battlefield 6 right now? Are you satisfied with where you've landed with Season 3? Are you looking to grow the game more, especially as we're entering a very competitive second half of the year? Although you're not launching a new game, you're sustaining a game. So I'm curious, how are you feeling right now with the state of the game? Giovanetti answers this by stating first that they are very happy with Season 3, mostly because Season 3 was, quote, to reach out to our fans and to show them that we care. He then goes on to mention that in Season 3, they're going to be starting up Battlefield Labs initiatives for competitive play, and he calls this a building block for the future, and that it is about allowing our community to figure out the best of Battlefield. And he ends his statement by saying that he thinks the reception for Season 3 was really good, and that they thought they had something cooking while they were making it, because they were excited while they were making it and were anticipating releasing Season 3. For me, I'm waiting to save my judgment regarding Season 3 until this upcoming gunplay update that should hopefully add a desperately needed bit of substance and depth to the gameplay of Battlefield 6. You can probably tell, and of course I stated this at the beginning of the video, I'm kind of hanging on by a thread waiting for this gunplay update, because I have to be honest, guys, the past 3 days I've played this game, it is just absolutely dreadfully boring. And I'm not talking about boring because, oh, there's no new content, or boring because, oh, there's no new update. No, the gameplay itself is just not good enough, and the only way to fix that is by walking back a lot of their initial designs they chose for Battlefield 6. And I just find this topic absolutely hysterical, because if you really understand Battlefield 6, and you look at the game's design as a whole, you will quickly figure out that at every single opportunity, DICE, EA, I don't know who, but somebody took the opportunity to dumb the game down in every single element of gameplay. I mean, overpowered snipers, bullet velocity's too high, gunplay's too easy, recoil reduction for controllers, thankfully that was addressed. Blisteringly fast time to kill, I believe the fastest time to kill we've seen since Battlefield 3. Mediocre movement with very little to learn, and the list goes on and on. And the fact of the matter is, they have just created work for themselves, and they are now walking back on some of those initial design decisions that they probably knew they should have never made in the first place. I'm not sure what the exact saying is, but I recall hearing something along the lines of, the answer is probably somewhere in the middle. And that is really the story of Battlefield 6 right now. With the upcoming gunplay update, my hope is it will actually restore the gunplay to how it should have been on launch. It will push it more towards that little middle ground, whereas right now, it's on the casual side of the extreme. And before I sign off on this video, I just want to make one more extremely important point. Even though they tried their hardest to hyper-casualize every single element of Battlefield 6's gameplay, they ultimately failed, and the players didn't like it, because 90+% of the player base left. And that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, because of course that's going to happen. When you take a look at the best Battlefield games ever created, they did not sacrifice the gameplay of the game in order to try to have an infinite money farming glitch like they've always been jealous of Call of Duty for having. So I am eagerly and anxiously awaiting the upcoming gunplay update with bated breath, because you never know what's going to happen. They could take 1 step forward and 5 steps back. We'll just have to see what the patch notes are like. That is going to wrap it up for this video, though, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you guys are excited for the gunplay update as well, and yeah, I just really hope it's good. It can't be bad, bro. If it's bad, or like they fuck something up, or they nerf something else, or something catastrophic happens, I'm gonna... I don't know, guys. Like, they gotta lock in. Okay, so appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, hit the sub button, swing by the streams. Stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. I also have a second channel that I regularly post on now. Everything will be in the description and the pinned comment. And I'll see you guys in the next one.